Hendrix, John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, chances are you've heard this guitar. This is a 1965 Fender Stratocaster. It's got 3 pickups, a neck that bolts on, and a tremolo that lets you bend notes like this. Before 1965, guitars were still stuck in their old ways. Gibson was pumping out Les Pauls and SGs left and right, which were heavy guitars aimed at older men who could afford to pay $600 or $700 back in the 60s. Fender, however, was targeting a youth market, and with this lightweight, simple design of bolting a hardwood neck onto a hardwood body and adding a plastic pickguard to hide any piece of electronics under, allowed for much quicker and easier production, keeping costs down and quality up. As previously stated, this guitar was aimed at the younger buyer. Fender was using the culture to its advantage in the 60s, and at that time, teens wanted to do 2 things: surf and play a sweet guitar. The Stratocaster let them do just that. Coming in at just $350 new back in the 60s, it was less than half the value of an American-made Gibson and retained all of the qualities, arguably having better tone as well. Fender didn't slack in the marketing department either. Their ads often depicted the youth of today playing their guitars on a beach or on the back of a motorcycle. The ads were often centered around young men who were considered the target demographic, and showed them having much success with the ladies after playing just a few notes on nothing less than a Fender Stratocaster. This guitar was designed by Leo Fender, the original owner and founder of Fender Musical Instruments Corporated. Leo started life as a radio mechanic in a local pawn shop, but went on to design this, a guitar that shaped culture and the sound of music across the world. Leo had a few specific ideas in mind with this guitar. Notably, the back contour, as you can see, has been worn away over time, but it fits the body of the player unlike any guitar out on the market. There are also 2 heels cut in to allow full reach of the frets all the way up to 21 here. Now this guitar in particular has been scalped in the back, allowing for the hand to really get up in these high playing notes and move through them fast. However, this was a modification done by a previous owner and actually devalues the guitar quite greatly. Now the neck. The neck is made of a hardwood maple with a rosewood fingerboard and a rosewood reinforced truss rod cover back here. The neck went through a lot of design processes, but Leo finally settled on a thin D-shaped profile of the neck, allowing for quick playability and long-time comfort by the player. Furthermore, there are 6 modern-style locking tuners on the back of the neck. Now, Leo believed that he could offer these tuners at a significantly lower price point than Gibson, who was offering them as a $200 option on a guitar that already cost $600 back in the 60s. One of the real pinnacles of design with this is the spring-loaded box tremolo on the back. So how this works is the guitarist will play any note given. He will then push down on this bar and it will bend the note. Now Leo allowed for 3 springs to keep tension on the tremolo, keeping the guitar in tune at all times and allowing for great bends with amazing note accuracy. Guitars prior to this exemplified this fixed mounted tremolo system that doesn't allow for any bending of the notes. However, with Fender's innovative tune-o-matic design and the spring box tremolo as seen on the back of the guitar, notes were allowed to be bent through and brought back up to tension without any hassle on stage or in the studio. Now these new design features weren't just gimmicks. They actually did enhance each and every player's experience. Notably, the tummy cut. It allows for comfortable playability in the studio, on stage, or if you're just practicing at home. You're not going to get worn out playing one of these as you would playing a Gibson, an Ibanez, a Jackson, something like that that has no contour for the hands and the chest. Again, the floating tremolo allows for note bends applicable to all kinds of music, such as indie rock, with those beautiful chord sweeps, down to modern metal, with those loud and obnoxious drops. Everything can be achieved with this guitar. The playability of the neck is unrivaled. It allows for players with even the smallest of hands to run up and down the neck with ease. This is not a feature seen in other guitars with chunky and bulky necks, which only strong, hardened players with years of experience under their belt can master. This guitar also allowed for almost universal intonation. You're never going to go out of tune with these Fender patent locking tuners. This means that you're going to have an easier time on stage recording, or again, just having a little jam session. With these new and improved modifications through Leo Fender's genius design, the Fender started to take the market by storm. Everybody had a Stratocaster in their hands, from Buddy Holly to legends like Jimi Hendrix. Heck, nowadays guys even like John Mayer have their very own personal signature series Fender built in the Corona factory for them by hand. It's amazing how far Fender has come over the years. Nowadays, if you're listening to an indie rock album and hear a beautiful tone, you can thank these guys, the 65 Stratocaster. Fender has exploded since releasing these guitars right here. They are now the single biggest instrument manufacturer in the world, selling over 1 million guitars of all varieties every single year. Can you believe that? That's insane. These two guitars are shining pinnacles of survivors from 1965. Guitars that shaped an era of not only music history, but of business history. Fender boomed following the 60s and now are one of the most successful instrument corporations in history. Entire genres of music have been shaped around the sound created by these two guitars. They have shaped the culture, the practice of guitar sales. I believe firmly that these two guitars were the first successfully mass-produced and affordable guitars ever made. With hardwood necks and bodies and amazingly clear tone, these guitars shaped surf music, allowing for a new era of clean and beautiful sounding guitars that were exemplified all the way through the 80s, 90s, and continue to be played in such a manner even today.